Hi, my name is Alfonso Rodriguez, and my project is on non-governmental organizations and their role in disasters. So non-governmental organizations are also called NGOs. They are non-profit organizations with a common interest. They are independent of government and they're known for their quick response. That is because there's no bureaucracy or paperwork as in the public sector. Lots of times when the government responds to disaster, we see that there's many steps and hurdles that do not allow them to have a quick response. NGOs in disaster management play an important role in all steps of the disaster response. NGOs specialize in providing emergency shelter, food, medical aid, infrastructure, water supply, and they apply social programs such as family planning. NGOs have further expanded on their influence on disaster management by joining in public-private partnerships, also known as PPP. This helps with coordination to help in disaster relief. NGOs are also registered under the Societies Registration Act of 1860, Section 25(1) of Companies Act 1956. So when it comes to the pre-disaster phase, NGOs focus mainly on educating, training, and raising awareness among the population in accordance to how to effectively respond to a disaster. NGOs construct disaster management teams and develop plans to combat disasters. They also conduct vulnerability and risk tests prior. Disaster phase. During the disaster phase, NGOs provide assistance for immediate relief. This may be in things such as aid, food, water sanitation, or temporary shelter. Also, NGOs are known to do most of their work between the 15 to 60 day period after the disaster, and that would be during the actual disaster phase by providing things as named before like food and water. Now when it comes to the post-disaster phase, they can help with technical support to coordinate further aid and reconstruction, and they also monitor recovery and implementation. But a problem when it comes to the post-disaster phase is that a lot of NGOs do their work 15 to 60 days after, as mentioned before, and this can limit their ability to have a real impact in the post-disaster phase. Challenges. There's many challenges when we talk about NGOs and their impact on disaster relief. One being, and the main one being, weak coordination between government agencies and officials and NGOs. This can lead to mishaps between the government and NGOs, which impacts the people who are impacted by the disaster itself. Donors also expect a level of transparency that can be hard to achieve and that can lead to problems within the actual organization. Urban poor areas are often neglected. Urban areas that may have more money or wealth receive the proper relief when poor areas are neglected among these organizations. There's also no clear exit strategy with the NGOs, and that's why a lot of times we see a 15 to 60 day plan and not an implementation strategy after that. The size of the NGO plays a role in the time that it will be involved in implementing a disaster relief, and also in its ability to respond in general. So local organizations, since they focus on a local area, usually have more long-term plans to help that area that's been hit by a disaster, while national organizations may help prior and after the 60-day period, but usually they don't stay as long as local organizations. And international organizations are known for the quickest response. Usually after the disaster, they provide aid, food and water, shelter that's needed right away, and they don't stay much longer after that. Thank you.